Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my McLaren Return to Glory here today as we are here for the Japanese Grand Prix, which should be a lot of fun. I love this track and hopefully we can have a lot of fun and get a decent result this weekend. So we're going to jump into the action. Before we do though, let's quickly run through updates and changes for this weekend's episode. And yeah, also we'll see what's new heading into the weekend, which hopefully should keep the momentum going as the last race, which if you haven't seen, link in the top right, spoiler warning ahead, go check it out, the Singapore Grand Prix. We got a really good result, and to be fair, back-to-back podiums, Monza and Singapore, which means we're pretty much putting together a package at any sort of circuit. If we can go fast at Monza and fast at Singapore, that is a great sign of progress. And yeah, as you can see here, we're going to go ahead and do a double upgrade on the aerodynamics, which should arrive in between, in and around Qatar, which is the race after this, which I cannot wait to do because that, I think, is the best track on this game. We're going to jump into, though, the weekend's action here at Japan. Forecast, dry, nothing expected on the rain front. And as for upgrades, our car is unchanged, as also behind us, Haas closed the gap a little bit. Out front, Aston Martin are now the fastest team in Formula 1. They are our direct rivals for 4th place in the Constructors, and they're at the top. So this is a big moment. For us though, we've got upgrades on the way, but they're going to arrive over the next few races, so we'll hopefully take another step forward in a couple of races time. For now though, we're going to jump into practice, and we're going to see exactly what we're looking like pace-wise. Currently we're P1, we're ahead of Russell, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, De Vries, and the car looks in pretty good nick, and we actually go a bit quicker on the very last lap of the race strategy program. Tyre wear is high around here, which I'm a little bit concerned about for the race. We might have some issues with that on that front. Fuel wise, also pretty high, but I kind of expected it because it's a very heavy circuit on fuel consumption. So yeah, we'll try and see if we can manage that in the race a bit. Either way, practice went really well, and the car feels excellent around here, really nice, and I feel like we've got a good setup and good balance. We're a little bit slow in the corners, so sector 1 is a bit of an issue, but we're fast on the straight and we're effective in sectors 2 and 3. So yeah, we're going to jump into qualifying, and we're going to get things underway here, and we're going to put our car to the test and see exactly how fast we really are. So Monza, Singapore, had some pretty decent pace there, to be fair. Singapore, we dropped out in Q2 due to a bit of an issue in terms of timing. I didn't really, think I'd get knocked out. I thought I was safe, and I didn't go back out, and I should have done. So we're going to make sure we don't make that same mistake here this weekend, as we are currently behind Charles Leclerc. A little bit of traffic on the end of our first time lap. We set a 1:27.8, which gives us 7th place, ahead of Albon, Hamilton, but behind both Haas cars. Not exactly the strongest of laps, so I went again for a second time lap. As you guys know by now, on this series, every single time we go for 2 push laps on the first run, as we, we're kind of building up our confidence, and most times that first lap is a bit too soon for me to kind of nail it, because it's actually always my first lap in anger, in full speed, because I do practice in lower modes and slower tyres and more fuel. So the first time I actually get to drive the car flat out is qualifying, and yeah, the first one is always a decent lap, but it's not the best. I know I can do better, and I get a lot of information from that first one and try to improve, pretty much on the second run. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now up in sector 1, but we bottom out on the curb through the Degner, and then we run even more wide through the second one. So I actually backed off, as yeah, pretty much that was a pretty costly error, and I lost a lot of time. So right now we're P15, and we're sitting on the cusp of safety. Now realistically, Hamilton at least is going to improve, so we're going to have to go out again and yeah, try to improve and find some more lap time. I know it's there, I've just got to try and hook up the lap and clean it up. And yeah, we're going to go for 1 single fly. We're fueled for 1 lap as well, so just got to try and make sure we keep it clean, make the few errors that we made before better, and yeah, just have a decent lap. So making our way down to turn 1 then, at the 50, turn in and brake for turn 2. Get a late apex here to get the drive and the exit as we head up to the S section. Lots of curb through all of these, although we don't quite get it right, and I miss the apex on pretty much every single one. Not exactly ideal, but somehow we gain a load of time. We now Dunlop absolutely flat through there, and we're a 10th.5 up in the first sector. Pretty much just the difference of, I think, fresh tyres and a bit less fuel helping us out there, as we keep it nice and clean this time through the Degners, and we're now up by 2 tenths as we head into the hairpin. brake in a straight line. Very important detail there. Down a third gear, get the power down, and we do a great job of finding that traction, which gave us a lot of time on the exit, and we now make our way towards Spoon Curve. For this one, brake at the 50 and turn in at the same time and use the runoff curb and then bring it back down for the second apex. As you'll see here, really nice exit, nice bit of traction, and we're almost up by 4/10 as we close out the middle sector. Right now we're up on Hulkenberg by nearly 2/10. Into the final chicane, the Casio Triangle, brake bang on the 100, down a third gear, lots of curb on the inside of the right, not so much this year through the left, and then get the power down as we run up to the line, open the DRS as soon as possible, and we improve by half a second, and that moves us to P11 with a 27.3. So will that be enough to move us into Q2? Checkered flag is out. The answer is yes, it is. P14, and we're into Q2 in qualifying. And also worth noting, Alonso has a 5-place grid drop for the race, so he picked up a penalty in that first part of qualifying, which is very interesting. Lando chilling up in the top 6, looking very strong. So yeah, we're going to jump into Q2 then. So this first run was, I believe, on I want to say a used tyre, but I could be wrong. I think it's the same tyre that we used to get through in Q1, and our first lap is a 27.6, so definitely used rubber, as that was about 3/10 slower than our Q1 lap time. So yeah, definitely some used tyres on that one. We're currently P13, Lando P9, Ocon sitting in the cutoff as we move on to our final run in qualifying. Now for this one, again, a fresh set of tyres. It's our last remaining set, so we have to make it count. We're fueled for one single flying lap, and yeah, we're going to send it here and see exactly what we can do in Q2. So here we go, DRS wide open once again as we get the lap underway. Turn 1, again, try and turn in at the 50 and brake a bit after for turn 2. Important to kind of go a bit wide and then bring the car back in for that late apex and to get the drive out there. As you can see, we find a load of time already in the S section. This time we get a bit better of getting a bit closer to the apexes. Still not perfect, but a lot better, as yeah, we're pretty much right on the white line, and now up through Dunlop. We're nearly 3/10 up in the first sector alone, which is absolutely insane. Into Degner, throwing the car in, beautifully running the curbs as we keep it within track limits, and we get a really strong exit out of the second Degner as we head up to the hairpin. Brake in a straight line again, third gear, keeping it extra tight this time to the inside line, which gives us a bit more time, and we're now 6/10 up as we take the tight line through the back straight to find a bit more lap time, making our way up towards Spoon Curve. Brake at the 50, turn in, fifth gear, use all the curb on the exit. Bit of a screen freeze there as we make our way through the second part of Spoon, again using all the curb on the runoff. And look at this, we're 7.5 up as we make our way into 130R, and compared to Stroll, we're currently up by a 10.5, so this is looking very good. Try and spot the braking, 100-meter board, wait for it. Now on the anchors, third gear, lots of curb on the right, smooth on the left. Traction here, very key, and keep the car tight to the right to minimize time loss and gain lap time. Purple sector 3, and that is P7 for us. Will it be enough to get into Q2? Lando is P9, so we out-qualify him for now. Checkered flag drops, and we're into Q3 with an absolute stonker of a lap time. Compared to Q1, which was a 27.3, we found 0.6 of a second in that session, so an absolutely insane turnaround, really good pace, and the car was perfect. One of my better laps of the season, guys, up there with Monaco, and that gives us another Q3 appearance. Now for this one, I'll let you enjoy the engine sound. We're going to go for one single flyer because we've got no tyres left. This is my last fresh set, which you get an extra one if you get into Q3, and we're going to see if we can even get close to the previous lap, which was the benchmark of a 126.7 to get us into this session. Just when you thought I couldn't go quicker, I go quicker. A 1:26.4. What a lap time in Q3 to give us P7 for the Japanese Grand Prix. That is a definition of pretty much maxing out a qualifying lap. There was one small error, which was in the Degners. I didn't quite get them right. I turned in a bit too early for the first one, which put us on the curb and we bottomed out on the exit of the first one. And the second one wasn't great either. But that was probably maybe only a tenth I threw away. The rest of the lap was perfect. And you can tell also by looking at the gaps that the top six were pretty much untouchable. So we've done a good job today maximizing what the car could do and what it was capable of. So yeah, a great qualifying, but we're now going to move into the race.
Welcome along to the legendary Suzuka. This classic racetrack boasts a long history dating right back to 1962 when it was first opened. Will more history be written here today at the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. Edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Perez, Leclerc, Martinez, Stroll, Gasly, Norris, Ocon, Magnussen, Bottas, Tsunoda, Zhou, Fernando Alonso, Albon, De Vries, Hulkenberg, and Logan Sargent. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? Looks like they have a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
So, after a very strong qualifying, a very good Q3 lap, we are now here for the race and the main event. So, starting from P7, I think, to be fair, the top six seem very quick. I'm not going to lie. It's a bit like Singapore, but this is more of a traditional circuit, and the gap in qualifying kind of speaks for itself. So I think I would probably take a P7 as a result this race. I think that's realistically the best we can achieve. I feel like the front six might just drive off. So, yeah, we're going to be realistic here. I think P7 is a decent result. So strategy for this one is going to be a one-stop, a medium to hard tyre strategy. We are going to have some tyre wear troubles at the end of the stints, but the one stop is way faster than the two stop, so we're not even going to think about it. Fuel-wise, I'm a bit concerned. There's quite a high consumption here, so I've gone quite safe. 1.2 laps of extra fuel. And yeah, we're going to go for a simple one stop. One last thing to note is that there is a lot of building work going on around me outside and even next door. So at times, there may be extreme drilling. I'm trying to commentate in between spaces, but I don't know when it's going to happen, so apologies if any of it gets in the video, but yeah, let's get to it. Here we go, time for the Japanese Grand Prix. Lights are on. And away we go. Oh, what start. I'm starting to get good at this now. Both Ferraris off to a poor launch. Going to go side by side with Checo here as Russell hits the front. A little bit wide as we are in the wrong gear, which just gives me a bit of understeer. Didn't get the downshift in time. So P5, but we jump both Ferraris, so great start. Russell out front. And we've got Verstappen second. Hamilton P3, Checo P4, under pressure now from Sainz as the AI try to stretch their legs early on. Let's see if we can try and stay ahead here and try and keep things clean as we head up to the hairpin. Nicely done through there. We know we're strong in sector 3, yellow flag. Could be contact, could be damage, or just could be slow cars in general, which I think is the case. Sainz looking up the inside there, but that's a tough place to pass. I mean, realistically, I'm not sure I'll be able to keep Sainz behind, but obviously I'll try and give him my best shot. The main thing here, the most important thing, is trying to stay in DRS range as Pierre Gasly puts the moves on Carlos. Got to try and stay within a second, otherwise it could be a long race. In that case, Sainz will probably overtake us very easily. Seems like a straight line speed isn't particularly great. Not bad though. I think we're pretty similar to that AI, so just got to try and stay strong in Sector 1, which is a bit of a weak point, as is the case in past F1 games. Verstappen, Hamilton side by side into 130R. They're battling quite heavily right now. Verstappen struggling for pace. A bit like in Singapore at the start of the race when he wasn't particularly quick. Russell has checked out entirely, and I'm just about hanging on here.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Verstappen, Hamilton again there. Now Hamilton runs wide. This is a scruffy battle, lots of mistakes, and this is keeping us in play. Not sure if any of the two are going to have damage, but this keeps us in the mix. Leclerc up to P7 now, overtaking Pierre Gasly, so we're in the thick of it right now, and so far we're more or less holding our own, which is very good. Still got a decent bit of battery left. Sainz looking for the move. I'm not even allow that, so we'll just turn in and completely ignore the fact he's trying to go for a bit of a pointless move. So we're starting to get a bit of a breakaway, personal best. Both Ferraris behind, and we're then dropping Stroll, who's the next car after them. So we're holding our own, although I'm just about hanging on to Checo's DRS. I've got enough straight line speed on the back straight before 130R to kind of close in, but we're having to work hard for it. First warning, pushing hard because I'm losing DRS now though, and Checo, I can't keep up on this lap. And to be fair, I may have to wave the white flag for my own benefit to keep this race alive, so I may have to let Sainz go here. Ferraris are quicker, we can keep this train in one piece. So yeah, we're not going to fight, we'll try and fall in behind the Ferraris. There goes one, here goes the other. Are the AI better into turn 1 this year? No, they're not, they're still a bit dodgy, so Leclerc doesn't commit, but we'll wave him through next time if it's a easy move to make. Feels like the AI really are picking up the pace. Stroll also responding, so they're kind of trying to pick up the pace in general here, not just the faster cars. So I don't really have an answer right now. Leclerc will probably go by. I'm not going to fight too hard. Stroll should be out of DRS range. Sainz has completely dropped us. We'll let Charles go on the outside, which is better for the AI. And we'll see if we can try and keep up now. Battery running a little bit low, so we're going to have to try and also manage that a little bit. There's actually a lot more parity in the race. Everyone is a lot more evenly matched right now. We're keeping up with Leclerc, and Stroll is keeping up with me without DRS. And he's got a few cars behind, but then there's a bigger kind of convoy further back being led by Alonso, as there is a bigger break in the train. But because there is only one DRS zone around here, it's not as critical, but obviously for me it makes a big difference just to try and gain back a couple of tenths on the pit straight, as we do lack a little bit in the corners. So this is going pretty well right now. I'm happy with this kind of situation in the race. We're doing exactly what I hoped for by letting the Ferraris through. We're able to keep up. So let's try and keep it that way.
The grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Battery's also more or less okay. We're managing to keep it at a certain level. Pit stop phase will be key here. I'm out of DRS range. I was struggling, and we have now dropped out. Just can't quite keep up in the key areas. Russell in the pit lane. So race leader pits.
In this lap, push now.
Run the pits as well, so we'll box this lap.
Coming in for his stop now.
Didn't use any battery in that last lap for my own benefit to give myself a bit of a recharge, and we'll try and keep it going, I think, during this and the pit stop to give myself a full charge for the next stint. Right, here we go. Sacrificing quite a lot of time, and Stroll now on the back of us, basically draining his battery. I'm doing it to try and recharge my battery. But yeah, we're going to now box for the hard compound tyre and go to the end of course. Everybody on a one stop, taking a risk by not going fast on the end lap and, you know, recharging battery. Stroll stays out, so that's good news. We need a nice clean stop here, no dramas. Only car in the pits right now. There we go, lovely, 2.2, that will do just fine. I wonder if some of those are staying out, might be going for a two-stop or maybe a soft tyre, medium to soft, who knows. Either way, clean air for us on the hard tyre once we rejoin. Should be just ahead of De Vries here.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Right, no dramas, no pressure. We can just drive and basically bring this tyre up to temp normally. And then we should be able to go faster than Stroll and those who have stayed out on the medium anyway without having to push too hard. So, playing the long game, got to make sure we've got tyres at the end and we're strong at the end of the race. Oh, Sargent out again. Back-to-back races. No safety car though, VSC or red flag. Fair few cars in the pit lane, so we're going to use a bit of battery here just to make sure. It's actually going to be close with Stroll. There he is. He almost got the overcut, but we're back in front. And everyone's on the same tyre now, so same strap. Everyone's on the same run plan here. And I think that is the final cars in the pits, which means we move back into the top 7. Hulkenberg in there right now. Managed to keep Stroll out of DRS range, which is what matters, using a bit of battery. And a purple sector 3. Let's see what kind of pace we have on this tyre now then. Well, Stroll did get DRS this time. We set another purple sector 3, but he was crucially in the detection point. But good exit. We pulled away on the straight, using a lot of battery. Big scrap ahead. There's a chance we may get back within DRS range here. Second warning. Taking a few chances now with that final chicane. I'm the reason the bollards are gone. Didn't get punished last time, but this time we do.
Caution, caution.
Oh, one of the big boys. Yes, it is. Charles Leclerc out of the race. Had to get around him there a little bit awkwardly, but it's going to cost Stroll more time than me, which is great news for us.
Okay, clear.
So that is P6, which is excellent. Looks like no safety car. So again, we're in the clear, which I don't entirely mind. So Stroll's put the jets on, put the afterburners on, and he's flying. The AI have this thing in this game, which is extremely powerful compared to last year, where the minute they overtake someone and they go full power mode, it's a super powerful mode. I don't know what it is, but they have an insane amount of engine power to run, and they can just easily, you know, just push. Got contact on the right rear. So Stroll really putting the pressure on here. I'm actually going to let him go, and I'll get DRS on the straight. But yeah, whenever they are pushed, they just use all power. It's crazy. Any battery in the reserves. So obviously that Leclerc retirement has triggered him to push. Up the inside, bit of marbles, so a bit of a lock up, but we're through. Probably get the DRS. There we go. Let's try and see if we can pull away again here and open up a gap. I can't shake him off now. Stroll's too fast, and so is Pierre, who's also joining on the action. I'm using all my battery here to try and see if I can drop Stroll out of DRS range, but he's using battery of his own because I'm not dropping him on the straight like I was before. So yeah, we're going to have to deal with this now for the rest of the race. Oh my god, and that's a sign also I'm starting to struggle on tyres a bit. We'll be safe on this one, but maybe not on the next lap. Right, same again. We'll let Stroll go here, and I'll make sure I get the DRS. This is basically my method of defence now. I've got to try and find a way to force Gasly to try and put a move on Stroll. That would be the ideal way to get this done. Trying to get a few less marbles on the way through this time. But yeah, we need just both of them to battle, and that will just take the pressure off. And that might be the case now, as Gasly is going to have DRS on Stroll. I can try and race away here. Same again. There goes Stroll. On the inside. We'll just keep doing this all day. I can manage this fine. Again, we get DRS. Pierre unable to go by last lap. Maybe this time we'll have a better shot. He's a bit closer, but Aston Martin's pretty quick. But there we go. Now Gasly goes for the move. This might be the opportunity we're waiting for. Good thing is I'm also burning fuel and I'm saving battery doing this. It's a good method of being, you know, actively defensive, so I can hold my own quite easily, but also recharge battery. We've also brought the cars behind into play, so Alonso, Norris have arrived, Ocon as well. So this is good. More cars means more battles and hopefully more time loss as we go through again. We just need one sub-bus side through the first couple of corners, which drags into the S section, and that might just give us the break. I've got battery now charged up to deploy if I feel like it's the right time to go. You can see they're going to follow Stroll through here, so we'll keep doing this. Stroll isn't that close this time, so we'll see. He doesn't commit into 130R, so he's going to have DRS this time. Let the games begin. I've got a full charge, so we can defend. AI are very good out of the final corner. Their exits are always on point. Here we go then, using the battery, and you can see we're able to hold our own, which is what we want. Again, Lance not close enough, so we'll have to defend down the pit straight into turn 1, which is fine. Just got to make sure I get the exit right. Just sacrificing the first part of the chicane to get the drive out of there, which is exactly what we get, and 4 tenths is enough. Stroll's going to have one more chance next time around to try and get through. Stroll getting close, which is absolutely fine. I'd rather this than the other way around, so...
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
There we go, Lance goes through, and now we're going to hopefully get the DRS on the pit straight. Just got to get through one more time. Like so. And now we can just drain the entire battery in this final lap. So we should be home and dry. Good race management, good defense, and that should do the job. Let's push now like crazy and use all the battery everywhere. Also, they're going to battle behind, so this is ideal. Now Gasly's going for it. He's striking. Russell wins in Japan, and we've got plenty of charge to use to close out this race. Verstappen fast up of the Grand Prix and the extra point as we bring home a phenomenal P6. Great result and maximise what we could do this weekend in terms of pace. I wasn't maybe the outright fastest or deserving, but we played it right in qualifying, delivered a great lap and held the position for the entirety of the race. We'll take that.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Another action-packed Japanese Grand Prix comes to an end, and a magnificent drive to take the win today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
There we go then, great day at the office, excellent race. A shame that Lando couldn't quite get into the points, but besides that, we did the best we could. And yeah, to be fair, we actually lightly outscored Aston Martin, who did get both cars in the points, with Alonso recovering from 16th to 9th, but it wasn't enough. Mercedes 1-2, and they're looking very strong as they dominate in Suzuka. Verstappen third with a fast up at the Grand Prix, but the Mercs were too strong today. Perez P4, Sainz in P5 just behind Checo, and we finished in 6th. Gasly P7, and then Stroll, Alonso, Ocon round out the point scorers, and Lando just missing out as I mentioned. Leclerc and Sargent, the retirements from today's race as we look at the standings. As you can see, we are still 8th and the gap is now just 3 points to Alonso. So that is a fight that is going to be hotting up in the next couple of races. Lando still P9, comfortably ahead of Stroll. And because of Leclerc's retirement, the championship is wide open. Verstappen is the leader. And not just that, but also with the Mercs improvements, Russell Hamilton are kind of outsiders, but they're still in the mix here for the championship. So this could get very spicy. In the constructors, Mercedes up to 2nd now, Ferrari 3rd, and it's a 3-way fight for the championship. So yeah, unlike in real life, it's red hot. And meanwhile, we are now a pretty comfortable, I think 45 points, if my math is correct, ahead of Aston Martin. So we're looking pretty decent on that front. So yeah, happy days, good race all round, good result, and we take that and go to the next one. So guys, cheers for watching, like the video, it really helps me out. I try to smash over 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more daily F1 content, guys. And yeah, as always, a big shout out to the members. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one as always. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Adios.